Kota Kinabalu 13 Maret tahun 1986. Lebih dari 1.000 orang berkumpul di Mahkamah Tinggi Kota Kinabalu. Penyokong-penyokong United Sabah National Organization sudah berada di sana seawal jam 8 pagi, menunggu keputusan injunksi untuk menghalang keputusan pilihan raya negeri yang diadakan baru-baru ini. Pada jam 8.45 pagi, satu letupan bom berlaku di Sinsura. Kumpulan perusuh bersorot apabila 6 lagi letupan berlaku di sekitar bandar Kota Kinabalu. Menjelang jam 10.30 pagi, bandar mulai kosong. Kejadian ini bukanlah kejadian pertama yang berlaku di mana sepanjang 11 bulan lalu terdapat beberapa letupan bom ikan yang telah menggegarkan sekitar negeri Sabah. Penyokong-penyokong USNO bergerak ke kediaman Tun Mustafa yang terletak di Tanjung Garu, meninggalkan baki-baki kemusnahan yang telah dilakukan oleh mereka. Sejak itu, bermulalah rusuhan selama 48 hari di Sabah. Pakatan sulit di antara ahli politik pihak pembangkang dan perusuh-perusuh Filipina yang telah diupah merupakan satu tindakan yang menyebabkan suara rakyat Sabah terkubur. Hampir 30 tahun kemudian, insiden ini adalah satu peristiwa yang hampir dilupakan dan jarang diperkatakan.
Ada zau poza daim bai no zau kondom bai no zau komi honadi ikin nahan sanku pozandi zau sandi nakasa.
Rusuhan ganas di Sabah berlaku disebabkan oleh pilihan raya yang berlangsung pada tahun sebelumnya. Pada masa ini, rakyat Sabah berasa kecewa dengan Parti Berjaya. Dalam usaha untuk meletakkan satu pengakhiran kepada pemerintahan 9 tahun mereka, Parti Pembangkang USNO dan Parti Baru, Parti Bersatu Sabah, telah membentuk satu pakatan sulit. USNO diketuai oleh Tun Mustafa bin Datuk Harun, seorang ahli politik veteran yang menjawat jawatan Ketua Menteri dari tahun 1967 hingga tahun 1975. PBS pula diketuai oleh Datuk Joseph Parin Kitingan, bekas timbalan Presiden Parti Berjaya, dan Huguan Seo, pemimpin Kadazan Dusun. Gabungan usaha USNO dan PBS berjaya menjatuhkan Parti Barisan Nasional. Akan tetapi, pakatan mereka runtuh pada malam keputusan pilihan raya diumumkan.
Who expected Berjaya to lose the election in 1985? Nobody, not even PBS. But because the sentiment was very strong, that it was Mahathir who said in a rally, big rally in the Town Padang in Kota Kinabalu, to the effect that we will sing and swim with Berjaya. Now, if you are a Berjaya member then, how would you interpret the thing? Will you not be happy? Of course. Sometimes it is not easy to accept the result of the election when you have been doing so good. But there were some mistake we made during that. Even though how good you are, sometimes, that's why I said, men proposes, God disposes.
The coalition between USNO and PBS is a form of understanding. It's a form of understanding because we know very well none of us, not PBS or USNO, can win a single party government. So therefore, in order to topple Berjaya, we have to cooperate.
But despite the fact that we have not got a proper agreement, just an understanding agreement between PBS and USNO, Tun Mustafa also went all out to campaign for both PBS and USNO. And that is why a lot of the Muslim also in marginal seats who voted for PBS. That is how we won, through the help of USNO, through Tun Mustafa. Datuk Karim Ghani is the confidant of Tun Mustafa. When Karim wanted to get in touch with me by 10 o'clock or 10:30, he can no longer get me. He only managed to speak to me twice before that. He said, "Hey, Datuk," he said, "the scenario is getting brighter and brighter because you can tell from the TV, kan? The USNO menang sini, PBS menang sana. Oh, I said, you get in touch again. Don't worry, I said. And then he got in touch at 10:30 and he could not get. He keep on trying, he could not get, because our candidates from various parts of Sabah were telephoning Pyrin. And there's only one telephone, all right? And I'm the one who is holding it.
Menjelang tengah malam, semakin jelas bahwa parti baru, Parti Bersatu Sabah, akan menjadi kerajaan baru. Keputusan rasmi pilihan raya ditahan, sementara proses pengiraan semula dijalankan di Tempasuk.
And by then 1 o'clock, Karim has already panicked when he cannot get me. So he told Tun, I think they're reneging, reneging from the coalition.
If you're really sincere, okay, later on, call us. Let's form the government. And forget about Tun Mustafa being appointed. We would have said yes, right? But there was no such thing. All I can say is, we did make the call. Joseph Paring said half an hour later, and there was no call, and the phone dropped dead. All of a sudden, God just closed the line. Not Homan Huping. Not Joseph Paring.
Bermulalah satu kejadian yang dikenali sebagai rampasan kuasa istana. Atas kegagalan mereka untuk berhubung dengan PBS, Usno panik dan menghubungi pihak lawan untuk membentuk satu pakatan. Datuk Haris Saleh membuat panggilan ke istana dan TYT dan Robert bersetuju untuk berjumpa dengan beliau dan satu orang lain lagi. Pada masa itu, waktu sudah jam 2 pagi.
We were cheated. So we want to cheat back, hit back. The only weapon we have got is the 6th nominated member. There is a clause. You see, in the state constitution that we have got 6 nominated member. So if we invoke this 6th nominated member, we will have 28. He will have 26. That's why we dare to go to the istana. And the governor then, the TYT, agreed.
About 3 o'clock in the morning, I said to Pyrin, I think we better telephone the head of state. He said, wait, where is your manners? He said, how can you telephone the head of state at 3 o'clock in the morning? He's sleeping. I said, you got to check for tomorrow, you're swearing in. So he said, you telephone the secretary to the head of state. I managed to speak to him. And he said, he's still awake. There's a lot of people here, he said. You cannot speak to him. So we went over to the atas, but we cannot go in because the gate was blocked, okay? And then there's a lot of Usno boys also around the gate. And we have been warned by a policeman there that any PBS people coming in might get beaten up. Majid, Yalampong, Karim Ghani, semua di orang di sana advise Tun Mustafa to go to the istana and storm the istana and get the head of state to swear him. The atmosphere was not very good. According to him, there was even a threat by some of the boys who went over to his place, and some of them are holding pistols and knives, So he said he also got his own crèche. Dia bilang dia taruh juga di sana just in case, dia bilang.
I know human being is such not easy for anybody to accept the people. Especially for the tourist setting. And when that time come, Bujaya got only 6 seats and Usno got 16. Total is 22. Still you cannot form the government. So they thought that they can use the 6. Meaning to say, whoever is sworn in first as chief minister, he has the right to appoint the 6. So that's why Mustafa was straight away sworn in as the chief minister that night itself. But legally it is wrong. Because you don't have the majority.
Pada jam 4.30 pagi, Tun Mustafa dari Parti Usno mengangkat sumpah sebagai ketua menteri buat kali kedua. Keputusan untuk kerusi Tempasuk akhirnya diumumkan pada jam 4.55 pagi dengan kemenangan dimiliki oleh Yahya Lampong.
Adnan Robert, a well-educated person, he knows his constitution. And so far as Tun Adnan was concerned later on, he was looking strictly at it from the point of view of the constitutional requirement. So he was right there. He did say in court that he has made a mistake. That is why he said he rectified the appointment of Datuk Pyrin.
Dengan sokongan pemangku Perdana Menteri, Datuk Joseph Pyrin ketinggalan mengangkat sumpah sebagai Ketua Menteri Sabah yang sah pada jam 8 malam itu.
by 10 o'clock, Pyrin was back in his house as the chief minister. So I said to him, we are going home. We have been working the whole day, the whole morning, the whole night. So I said it is about time for us to go and have our shower. We'll be back, but when you select your ministers, can you wait for some ministers from the USNO side? And he said yes. When I come back, all the names are already there. Sambilan semua. So saya bilang, kenapa ini? We have got an obligation to the other party. Now I said tomorrow there will be a demonstration. So enough, kan?
Tun Mustafa memfailkan injunksi terhadap TYT Adnan Robert. Seperti yang diketahui oleh USNO, Tun Mustafa masih memegang jawatan Ketua Menteri.
Wah, that morning, saya tengok itu Padang Merdeka di KK. Saya bilang, kenapa itu? Banyak itu bas USNO di sana. Saya bilang, bos, kenapa itu Padang penuh itu bas? Saya bilang. Kau tahu itu sekarang Dandai punya orang. Itu Dato' Mustafa bawa. Dari Sempurna sama itu, dia bilang. Jadi, early morning kan 9 o'clock. Saya dengar satu meletup bom di in front of the MPKK punya stesen minyak. Bom tangan. Banyak kereta kena meletup di sana, orang antam bom tangan. Itu orang yang itulah saya bilang yang orang itu pelarian itu dari Pulau Gaya. Dia orang sudah sedia bikin bom ikan.
这边这个在这边，我们做这个泵在这边，跟那个美给你做好了，我们进去是吧？他那边爆炸，我们以为这个爆炸它一爆炸很多那个烟看不到啊，那个烟一走了是吗？原来是那个泵那边，我们的工人还在那边泵这边旁边2个，还没有开那个店那边都爆炸了，很快全部这个玻璃全部爆，那个屋顶跌下来，4个那个爸妈天灯全部弄到那个耳朵，这个没有3天就好了。我带去 hospital 啊，全部带去 Big Elizabeth Hospital。
你知道为什么这样东西发生吗？
这个是 politic 的东西来的嘛，因为什么好像是白领赢了是吧？他们不甘愿就是做到这个东西出来了，是不是？这个很简单的东西来的。
I was from my office from Wisma Sabah and I walked across here. There was no occasion that time, open space, walk across here, see my friend Roger. Then as I walked here, there was no dividing or something. Bomb went off right in the edge. I can see that the canopy was damaged and all that, and I got frightened. And I didn't know what to do. I was in a daze. Then I walked back. I decided to walk back to Wisma Sabah. Then another explosion occurred, very loud bang. Then we went to investigate, and it happens to be a bomb planted under my staff car. And his car was a total wreck, totally damaged.
First is Chumbikau
Station, and I saw
the second bomb is Shell Station from PKK. Second block was Missing Pure Station. Pure Station kanan lah. Last time was run by Sun Kim Yen. Dia drove around 7,000 ringgit lupa ambil.
kena curi.
Jadi kaca semua. The third is mine lah. We still in the next one. In lock up lah.
Did you go where?
Until the two gas bomb is coming lah. Then the bomb it then no tahan.
Gas.
So people run off after Kementerian this bouncing lah. They call us tutup lali. And our manager Chandran bawa para
Chandran.
Wah, they call marah. Apa kau nanti lari lagi ya? Iyo. Safety wah ini lari.
Saya punya arahan pasal saya marah sama firing. Orang yang tidak mematuhi undang-undang itu, kita tidak ada pilihan lain. Sama ada hidup atau mati, itu saja. Semua pergi ke masjid. Ya, orang-orang.
I think Tun Mustafa himself was taken aback. I think of all people, he was the one who was promised by somebody from Kuala Lumpur that if there was enough firepower, then emergency will be declared. Because I went to his house, I asked him why this thing happened, Tun. Oh, biarlah, that's what he said. And I can tell you this man, that if we didn't approve of the whole thing, I don't think those people would have come.
Pelarian-pelarian itu tinggal bersama-sama istri dan anak-anak mereka di masjid negeri. Pada malam yang sama, 2 tanda salib dilukis di dinding masjid negeri dengan menggunakan cat merah. Kedua-dua parti USNO dan Berjaya menuduh bahwa Parti Pelbagai Kaum, Parti Bersatu Sabah, sebagai parti anti-Islam. Mereka percaya bahwa Sabah sedang menghadapi masalah kegolakan agama berbanding krisis politik.
You have my honest opinion. Yeah? It was done by the Muslim. Some mosques were burned. There was one in Kota Blut, my own kampung. I know who did it. Not done by the Christians. Just to incite that feeling. As I said, from political problem, they want to equate it to religious program antara Muslim dan Muslim.
本来沙巴治理到那段时间啊，沙巴的人啊，你讲吵架打架是有啦，可是你讲好像这种暴动这种东西听都没有听过，生意都没有都有做，为什么啊？我们又没有武器，他们有武器，我们又没有武器。你家里有没有出场火车？2次。这个一定有的咯，现在这种东西不出场是假的咯，那种。Not gunpowder lah, only the rice. After that, the business in KK drop. They got a cookery unit down there. In Moose building. Not the Moose now, you know. That's on the other side. They do the cooking, they do water supply from there. They got everything, they carry everything to the refugee or the people that stay in the mosque.
I did not see, but I think, there was some small demonstrations in Senakan and Tawau as well. If you remember, people like Gapur Sali was involved in Tawau. Asna Ibrahim was very much involved in Senakan. There was some burning of building there, I heard, but smaller than the one in Kota Kinabalu.
Keganasan yang melanda memaksa pihak polis untuk mengisytiharkan perintah berkurung di seluruh kota Kinabalu. Ibu bapa berhenti dari menghantar anak-anak mereka ke sekolah.
How you know from Pulau Daya? Because you recognize some of them, yeah? Because you supply petrol to them, right? Yeah, I know that you supply petrol to them. Yeah. Some of them are your customer. Yeah. Are they also the bomber? No. They also involved lah.
They're involved. Ada gaji, dia tinggal. Duit pinjam. Ada makan, ada duit.
Oh, they were paid.
They pay them.
They stir the foreigner to fight against the local citizen demonstration, which is very, very wrong. Because any government, either the opposition or the PM government, the first priority is to protect your own children, your citizens. Okay? So those days, when they stir about this riot and all these things, most of the people was very, very upset. But they feel quite sad. They also lost confidence.
You see, it was very peaceful. In fact, when we passed the mosque, some people are throwing stone, so we jumped. Especially I could still remember Dato' Rally Jeffrey. I said, Rally, jump to the before the church so that they will stone you, so they can stone the church. This is Rally Jeffrey. Rally Jeffrey is the Deputy Minister of Works before in the federal government.
Tidak apa, jangan cari semua dia. Jangan cari semua dia. Oke, Asad, you kill him there. Okay, where's the Black Maria? Put him inside.
All these things happening. I am the leader of the demonstration. I'm not even leader. In fact, Tun Sakaran is the leader of the demonstration. All this, we got a shock because this is not normal in our life.
Kalau pergi lawan, memang Pak Erin tahu itu, batal itu parti. Jangan election. Sudah. Nah, itu dia tidak pergi lawan. Jangan kamu lawan, diam-diam. Ikut saja mau election balik. Butuh karena itu budak-budak yang hati itu masih muda, dia orang mau lawan tapi jangan. Kalau satu kali kamu lawan, military order, martial law. Nah, siapa buka mulut jail, masuk jail. Semua kena tangkap. Nah, apalagi jadi kita punya parti itu PBS parti pun kena batal.
I don't consider that a riot because it is not against the authorities. Even the police were escorting this group, from the mosque up to the secretariat building. How can you say it's a riot? How can you allow them to march tomorrow morning and then you disperse, tear gas, march, disperse? What are you planning to do? I'm not accusing the federal government. No, but police should not allow this sort of thing to happen. So there may be some truth, and at least one person was convinced, and that is the Dr. Mustafa, that there was backing about this demonstration from the federal government. So there was some truth that some people in KL wanted the thing to happen. They just could not accept that PBS become the government.
Oh, you get talking to police.
Không thầu đi. 7, 6 tinggal sini sleep here.
Oh,
24 hours.
police.
Tidak itu askar.
Askar. Regarding here,
Which break helmet dalam cuma di kau.
oh, the right field force.
Field force something like that. Field force. For nearly 2 months Nakal Lopuan dalam tinggal di sini.
Oh, so
Tinggal sini.
Oh, tinggal sini in the garage. So you feed them every day.
Every day lah. Cook coffee.
You didn't claim from the government.
After 2 or 3 days, I was told by the late Abdul Malik Chua that I should go because there are some of our people were getting out of control. When I went to the mosque, my goodness, it was not fit to be a mosque anymore. Dirty here everywhere. This, what do you call this, tapau food, Basipa-sipa. How can you allow such thing in the mosque, state mosque? Even now, you can easily recognize who are local, who are foreigners. Very, very simple. So I can tell you now, out of 10 people there at the mosque that I saw, 6 or 7 are not local.
Filipinos, I think the supporters of Tun Mustafa, they want to fighting against Joseph Paring. They are supporters of the Muslim, that's all. You can call it fighting against, but they are not. Actually, they are not. They are just supporters. And sometimes, they have also been used by maybe by Muslim leaders, to commit maybe something, which is not right. Yeah. But you see, the Muslim, the Filipinos come here, it's not to fight anybody. They just want to survive. Unfortunately, maybe they have been used.
I overheard that there was talk about declarations of emergency. But we need more firepower. It come out from some people's mouths, during when I was in the mosque. What does it mean? It means more building must be burned. Some people got to be killed. then there will be enough firepower to declare emergency. Because when you declare emergency, no government. I think the majority of those people who participated did not know what is going on. Except for the slogan, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. When the time comes for makan, they makan. They all run towards the mosque. They did not know what is why they should be there.
How did they come here? They were here, it has to be through the back door. Who opened the door? Originally it was Tun Mustafa who opened the back door for them to come. Right? And I think Tun Mustafa maybe have got this vague idea about having the Muslim here, and later on probably become citizen and they became part of his supporters. So when Tun Mustafa was involved in this fighting, political fighting, so they had no choice. What choice have they got? They just have to support Tun Mustafa. Because it was Tun Mustafa who opened the door. Plus, of course, this door cannot be opened without the help of the federal government.
When they first arrived, that was during our government, Tun Mustafa called all of us, the leaders of in USNO government, and said that he has already got the approval from Kuala Lumpur to accept these people, he said, and to give them the appropriate papers. They have a special pass, They are not citizen. They cannot vote yet at that time, but they have got the special pass and they are allowed to get any job that is available to them. At one time, they were also paid, I think, $2 to $3 a day for their food. And that was later on billed to the federal government, I think, not the state. By 1981, I think there was a large influx of people already. And I think if I read the newspaper correctly, they were welcomed with open arms by the authorities,
When you sleep in the pulau, compared to you sleep in the mosque, more comfortable in the mosque, At least you have the carpet, at the time no aircon. But if you have the carpet. So, once in a while in your lifetime, you're taken from the island, go and sleep in the mosque, running water, electricity, right? Because you accept that. You see, even small children were there. A lot of small children. Others bringing their children. It's like a holiday,
Selepas tinggal di masjid selama 1 minggu, pelarian-pelarian tersebut menyerahkan diri. 3 hari kemudian, Datuk Seri Dr. Mahathir tiba di Kota Kinabalu untuk meredakan keadaan. Perdana Menteri telah memberi satu cadangan untuk membentuk satu pakatan di antara PBS, USNO, dan Berjaya. Tetapi, 3 orang ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri dari PBS telah pun dicalonkan untuk menyertai Parti Berjaya.
Parent had no choice but to declare the state election for 1986. He just said that he has dissolved the assembly.
Bah, sudah itu kan, election lah. Kita orang mau campaign lah. Apalagi saya punya campaign. Bah, kamu orang sekarang pergilah vote itu Mustafa. Tunggu, sekarang dia mau bom sudah kita, saya bilang. Itu saya punya campaign, Pak. Tengok, belum lagi kerajaan dia, sudah dia mau bom itu rakyat. Lebih lagi kalau dia sudah jadi kerajaan, matai kita. Janganlah kamu orang vote itu Berjaya, jangan vote itu USNO. Vote lah itu PBS, saya bilang. No more collision. Jadi Chief Minister terus. Sebab, itulah sebab Pairin jadi Ketua Menteri, the second time election.
Di penghujung episode ini, rakyat Sabah berjaya melawan semula secara aman melalui undian mereka. PBS menang pilihan raya tahun 1986 dengan majoriti mengambil 34 kursi dari 47 kursi yang dipertandingkan. USNO dan Berjaya kekal sebagai pakatan sehingga tahun 1990.
You remember who kena tangkap? Some famous people.
Mostly Filipino. Handful of people they kena tangkap.
So ini your customer from Gayalu kena tangkap?
Ya, ada. Lepas. 1 bulan lalu lepas.
Dalam peristiwa ini, sebanyak 34 bom, 20 kes kebakaran, 56 urutan bom, dan 73 kereta yang musnah dilaporkan. Sebanyak 1.763 orang ditahan, di mana 6 orang ditahan di bawah ISA. Perintah berkurung berlangsung selama 39 hari. Jumlah kerusakan yang dialami dianggarkan sebanyak 10 juta. Akibat dari kejadian itu, terdapat 5 bangsa terbunuh. Riasim bin Lakim, seorang nelayan mati akibat letupan bom. Muksan Sawad, seorang perusuh berbangsa Suluk mati terkena tembakan polis. Di Sandakan, Chong Tong Sing, seorang penjual surat kabar terkena bom. 2 lagi wanita yang tidak dikenali mati terbakar. Untuk semua kerusakan yang dialami, tidak ada seorang pun yang mengambil tanggung jawab atas sekatan yang berlaku di seluruh negeri. Ahli-ahli politik akan menyatakan kepada Anda bahwa rusuhan ini yang berlaku di Sabah adalah kesan daripada konflik politik. Pada hakikatnya, mereka telah membalas dendam kepada rakyat karena rakyat tidak mengundi mereka. Semua ahli politik hendaklah diingatkan bahwa apa jua kaum, agama, atau aliran politik mereka adalah menjadi tanggung jawab semua ahli politik untuk melindungi rakyat dan semua orang lain dalam jagaan mereka.